Alright guys, this is the part 3 and the final part of our popcorn machine, right? So this is what we have so far, and then today I'm going to add some details like hinges, door knobs, door handles, whatever you call it. Glass is getting in our way. Select that one, press H to hide it. So let's create this hinge, right? So I created this one separately, so let's create a kind of hinge like this and then attach that one to this popcorn machine. Okay, so let's close this, we don't need this, and let me quickly enable our shortcut keys. Okay, now what I do here is I'm going to add an object mesh, a cylinder. Now I want to go into individual edit mode so that I don't want to see my popcorn machine. Now I want to rotate this, rotate Y 90, scale along Y and Z but not along X, S, after that shift X. Now you scale it down. Now shift S, cursor to world origin, and then select these tubes, shift S again, selection to cursor, control scale along x-axis slightly. Okay, and then go to edit mode, add loop cuts. 3 loop cuts should be fine, and now go to face selection mode and select these faces, all click on this face, so you get that one. Press P, selection. Now it is a separate component, so you can scale that part, scale along x-axis slightly, and then this one, let's get into individual mode of this one. Tab into edit mode, click on this loop, press F to peel that, and all click on this loop, press F, tab out, and then individual mode out. Select both of these, go to individual mode. Now shift D, right click, put it into the same place, and now scale, as for scale, shift X and then scale it, scale X, alright. Now tab into edit mode of this part, go to side view and select 2 faces, maybe these 2 faces and also these 2 faces, and extrude where is tiny bit. Okay, and now extrude again. Okay, now what I do is I want to dissolve these 2 faces, dissolve, and also I want to delete that X faces, right? Dissolve these 2 faces and then also delete. Now what I do is select this edge and this edge, connect, bottom edge, fill, right? This one, fill, this one and fill. Alright, so the same thing you can do here. If you select this, press period key and select the other face, edge, and then fill. Alright, now I think this one we should grab this one slightly to get the proportion. Let's grab along Y that should be it. Okay, now get this and tab into edit mode, go to side view, select these two faces, right, and then enable look through so that you can see, and then extrude until you get here, and again extrude to the end. Okay, now tab into object mode. Now you need to rotate this, rotate along x-axis 180. Okay, now get into edit mode, get this face selection mode, turn off this and also this. Now you need to do Alt E to extrude along normals and get until you get very close view here. If you go to top view, you can see this alone or not. Alright, now the basic structure of this one is done. So what I do is go to object and shade smooth, do the same thing for the other half, shade smooth, and also the middle one, object, shade smooth, and then okay, yeah, that should do it. Let's scale this one slightly, scale along x-axis. Okay, alright, so now coming to the screws and screw holes. So we have a simple trick for that. So before that, I just want to select one of these and then Control A, apply scaling, Control A, scale, otherwise it behaves slightly differently. So now you have your hinge, two sides of the hinge. Now what I want to do is I want to select this, shift S, cursor to selected. That's fine, I think. So let's add a mesh, a cylinder, scale, go to top view and then grab, scale. Okay, now so get it, tab into edit mode, get a loop cut and individual mode. So shift click on this edge loop, shift or click, so you select all of them and then scale. So that is the hinge, tab out of, so this and this and this, individual edit mode, get this one, shift click on this hinge and then control minus to add difference boolean modifier, right? So now based on your interest you can scale these up and down while looking at your the hinge. Grab C, okay, let's get into edit mode of this, select this loop cut, scale, tab out of edit mode. Now duplicate this and move along x-axis, press X. Now shift click on the hinge, control minus, again duplicate this and move along x-axis somewhere here, and now shift click on the hinge, control minus. Now select all these three cutters, shift D, now Y along Y axis. So I'm just approximating. Select one of these, shift select hinge, control minus, select this, shift select this, control minus, select the other one, shift select the hinge, minus, control minus. Now you have everything. Now you select this object. If you are satisfied with this hinge hole, screw holes, so you can select this hinge, control A, visual geometry to mesh, so that will apply all these modifiers to this. So now you can select all these and safely delete them, right? So if you select this and go to modifier tab, you can see bunch of modifiers there. If you write control A, select modifier visual geometry to mesh, you apply all these things on that hinge. Right now shift select all these cutters and delete them. So this is your hinge. So let's apply some material before we move into the screw head. Go to material, new material. So I'm going to make it all the way metallic, and so let's reduce the roughness. Now this one has a weird looking, so that's because you have you have to auto smooth your normals, and do the same thing for this. Click on this hinge, shift select this, control L, link material, do the same thing for this hinge as well, auto smooth. Okay, so this is your hinges. So I'm going to save this now. So let's add a screw, add mesh, cylinder, scale, top view, grab. Now tab into edit mode, add a loop cut, and then shift alt shift click this one so that you have two, and then scale it, grab Z, tab into object mode. Let's get out of this. So let's go to individual mode again. Now what I do here is I'm going to shift as cursor to selected, shift, and then add a mesh, a cube, scale it down, top view, scale along X, scale along Y. I'm trying to create a boolean modifier here. Grab C. Now shift D, right click, rotate Z 90. Now what you do is select one of these cubes, select the screw, control minus, select this, shift select this, control minus. Now what you do is select the screw head, control A, visual geometry to mesh. Now you can safely delete these two. Right, now you have a screw head. Now let's scale this one until you get the required size. Grab Z, scale maybe. Right, let's assign some material to this before we duplicate. So let's assign some brass color, right, and make it all the way metallic, and then roughness, reduce the roughness, not that much. Alright, now let's go to top view, duplicate, shift D, X, shift D, X. Now select all these three, shift D, Y. Okay, now combine all these. Control J. Now you need to do the smoothing again. You need to get into individual mode and then apply material to this. Control L, link material. Now combine these two. Control J, tab, oops, out of individual mode. Now scale. Right, so let's get these two hinges to one of these pole. So tab out of it, tab into edit mode of this, select this edge, shift S, cursor to selected, tab out of edit mode, shift S, selection to cursor. Now you need to rotate this along y-axis 90 degrees. Let's focus on to that. Now grab along y, grab C, and then scale. Grab y, shift D, Z, shift D, Z. Let's have some 3 hinges so that it is strong. Okay, Alt H to unhide all these so that you have a hinge. Let's have a doorknob, tab, select this face, shift S, selection to cursor to selected, tab out of edit mode, add mesh cylinder, rotate Y 90, scale, grab, scale X, scale shift X, let's create a very simple knob. Tab out of tab into edit mode, focus into that and add a loop cut, grab, face selection mode, alt click, alt E along with extrude along normals, tab, let's do some smoothing and go to smooth and apply this material. Go to material section, select the shiny material. Alright, so we built the hinges and then the doorknobs. Now let's add the most important thing, popcorns, right? So let's create a mesh, add a mesh, kind of like a let's add icosphere. That should be fine. Grab, shift duplicate, right click, small, scale it, and then grab it, scale X, scale Z to give it a nice deeper shape, shift duplicate, rotate. Right, now select all these 3, Control J to join. Now scale it down, grab somewhere here, go to material, new material, rename this one as popcorn. Now change this material to maybe slight yellow, make it more yellow. Okay, now let's hide this glass, and then add mesh UV sphere, scale it down. This is going to be my emitter. Make it more smaller a little bit, and go to particle system and add a new particle system. Emitter should be fine. I need to put 5000 pieces, and maybe like 50 is my end frame. Lifetime is okay. Randomization, rotate along global Z randomly this much. And under the render section, this is important, select object, and also which object, my popcorn. And now let's try drag this on and see. Oh, it's going through that the base of my popcorn machine. Let's get back to 0 again, and then select the base, go to physics tab, add a collision object, right? Damping is 1, particles permeability is 0, right? Damping, okay, particle damping is also 1, right? Soft body cloth, you don't need that. Okay, and if you scroll now, it hits that the base and then goes out of that thing. The thing that we did not do is you go back and then Alt H to get the glass back, and then make this one is also a collision object, right? So the damping is 1, when its damping is 1, right? Now if you scroll the timeline, you can see they stay inside, right? Right now the sizes are the same. If you hide this again, so it is coming down nicely. So if you go to select the particles and then go to particle properties, now the scaling part, right? So you can scale this slightly bigger, and then the randomness is all the way 1. Now you have a nice set of particles and there, right? Now, so once you create this, you want to make it a mesh, right? So that you can do some modifications, right? So you go to a modifier tab and then click on convert, or you can keep it like this and then render. If it is feeling okay, alter hide, so that is the glass, should be fine. So we need to hide this one, should be fine. Anyway, let's try that one as well, right? Convert. So this is going to convert every single piece into its own mesh. So if you click one of them, now they are separate pieces, right? See, those are separate pieces. You can adjust, or if you have some cleanup to do here, you can delete some of them, so outside stuff, right? So you can do some cleanups like this, and have a proper orientation, and then do the rendering. All right, so this is what we have so far. I think this concludes our series of series of tutorials making the popcorn machine. And then we added some tiny detail like hinges and then the doorknobs in this video, as well as we added some popcorns. Alright guys, that concludes my tutorial series of tutorials on how to make popcorn machine. So thanks for staying with me throughout this series. Thank you very much.